essence of having a spiritual life is not so that you look great to a set of people you belong to, or that you feel superior, or it is so that you are nourished, nurtured, built, soaked in, guided and guarded into a purposeful life in God by his definition of what success means, not just your definition, because many humans have a lot of flawed definition of what success means. And what success means to many people, they'll be so surprised when they finally meet God that it has nothing to do with him, because they created their own idea of success. Having a spiritual life also saves you from unnecessary drama, financial expense, health stress, sin stress that comes from the way those who live wrongly actually live out. So all of this stress comes with those who live the wrong way, but it saves you from the stress of the sin, drama, finance, expense, health, and so on and so forth when you live in accordance with the Lord. So for instance, now let me share with you how a spiritual life of a person can help a person save money. So a girl goes through a breakup of a relationship that she wasn't even supposed to be in the first place. Let's start with the fact that she was not supposed to be in the relationship in the first place. So she gets into this relationship by a nook or crook, by any way that is not genuine, trying to think that she can talk her way through with God when God had clearly shared with her, instructed with her, or she probably did not even ask. You know how people do things they want to do, they don't really want to ask. So perhaps that's how she got into that. And then she's in this relationship. While she's still there, God in his mercy is still asking her or nudging her through the Holy Spirit to leave the relationship. She refuses. Long story short, the breakup comes from the guy, and then it is one that is really painful for her. So painful for her, it leaves her dejected. Of course, one of the things that a girl like this, let's call her Kike, we're calling her Kike for exemplary reason. It's just like the writing movie. This does not in any way depict any real person. Take notes in case you are Kike and you are listening to this. Yeah, so she gets out of this relationship. She's out of this relationship, and she starts to buy things that she doesn't need to eat to get into her body just to make her feel good, like sugar, all of those things that people pack to eat, to binge eat. It's not like you can eat these things in moderate quantities, but when you binge eat a lot of these unhealthy things, of course it can cause health complications. And of course she has to pay for therapy, and so even add heavily for therapy depending on the kind of foundation she even had before. If she did not have any form of solid foundation, no identity, no self-discovery, this relationship was the one giving her esteem, she would have to pay heavily because her sessions are going to be long. And I'm a therapist, so I'm telling you the reality. And I have to tell you because it's the truth. A lot of times, even in counseling and therapy is fantastic. It's not something that is for a select few failures. That's not what it is for. But I'm telling you that there are people who have come into therapy. You can come into therapy to check on yourself, so you don't need to come into therapy for when you are damaged. But in this case of this example I'm sharing with you, there are people who do not need to be in therapy. They're in therapy just because their spiritual flame is switched off, and that is reality. This is what it is. I mean, this is what it is. I just have to tell you the truth. But that is the importance of having a spiritual life. This is the important. This Kike could have just followed God's leading and be at peace, but she did not follow God's leading. So now she's not at peace. She's everywhere else. And perhaps this person even goes into a rebound relationship, and this person just wastes a whole season of their life. And hopefully, let's hope that they find God again. But what has happened to all this time that has been wasted? The essence of this story is to put in reality, which is the essence of this teaching and podcast today, to put into reality what happens when you are not spicing up your spiritual life. The essence of spicing up your spiritual life is so that you have a burning, alive, aflame, ablaze, awakened journey and relationship with God. That's the whole essence. So we're going to examine different ways to find how to spice it up so that relationship can keep going.